Time for our Ultimate Insider, brought to you by FFB Bank. And as always, here we're joined by Fresno State radio analyst Cameron Worrell. Cam, thanks for coming by.
Of course.
All right, let's start by talking about this game here.
Yeah.
Coach Ed's kind of described it as an ugly win afterwards. Would you put it that way?
Yeah, I mean, number one, a win is a win, right? Whether it's ugly, whether it looks great, whether it has makeup on, a win is a win. But yes, I did not think this game was going to be close in the fourth quarter. It was a 3-point game. Fresno State was able to pull it out. But yes, I would definitely classify that as not up to the expectations of this Fresno State football program as to how they thought that game was going to play out.
Can they keep winning this way consistently?
I mean, it's tough, man. Your margin for error is just so small. The good thing is their defense is still playing at a very high level. I think they were really affected last night by really good field position that Nevada got, especially in the second half. The offense couldn't really move the football, so the Nevada offense had some short fields, and they took advantage of that. But as long as you play good defense, sound, fundamental defense, you're going to have a chance to win games in the fourth quarter. And they were able to do that last night on that last drive to ice it. So, yeah, it's difficult. Your margin for error is very slim. But if they play defense to this level, they can continue to win games in the Mountain West.
You mentioned the defense playing at a high level. What are some things that make this unit in particular so tough to play against?
They're just very sound fundamentally. There are very few breakdowns schematically. You know, quarterbacks will get outside the pocket sometimes. They'll lose rush contain, but those are the big problems. They gave up a deep ball last night, but there was a backup cornerback in. That starting 11, they're very sound. They do not give yardage up easily. They make offenses execute at a high level to move the football. And then when they get into the red zone, they get very aggressive. They send a lot of people, and they make it really difficult for a quarterback to get the ball into the end zone. So they play a little bit more conservative between the 20s, but when they get in that red zone, this unit's going to come after you, and they've executed that very well this season.
Let's talk about the offense a little bit. Running back Brandon Ramirez with some really important carries in the fourth, moving the chains there.
Yeah.
What have you seen in his growth of his play?
Yeah. Call him Ram Man, man. Remember that old Masters of the Universe character? He wants to ram people. He wants to run people over. He was a closer last night. When they needed a physical back to come in and chew minutes up off the clock, Brandon Ramirez was that guy. He is looking to do one thing and one thing only, and that is run through people's chest. And that's what you need when you're trying to ice a game away. You need a running back who's going to finish like that.
Cam, I want to ask you about E.J. Warner as well, because obviously the numbers sometimes don't look spectacular. But when the game's on the line so far this year, I think that's 3 times now where he's led the Dogs on an important drive to win a football game. What does that say about him, and what's your overall take about the quarterback position at this point?
Yeah, I mean, E.J. Warner wasn't here last year, and I think this offense missed that, right? I don't think this offense believed that Mikey Keene was going to do whatever it took to take an offense down the field and do whatever they needed to do. Get a field goal, run the clock out, get a touchdown. E.J. Warner is that guy. This offense believes that he's going to lead them when the game is on the line. He's going to get it done. He's been very accurate. He's made really good decisions with the football. I know he had the one pick last night, but he's executing this offense at a high level. They don't really have a vertical threat. I think that limits their ability to loosen up defenses, and I think he's suffered because of that. But you said it, man, when the game's on the line, E.J. Warner is going to do whatever he needs to do to help this team win.
You know, in the postgame afterwards, both Matt Entz and Cameron Braca, who spoke with the media, talked about how they think they're close. They think they're close to putting all 3 phases of the game together at the same time. If that happens, Cam, what's the ceiling for this team?
They'll compete for a Mountain West championship. I mean, it's really San Diego State and Boise State on the schedule. That's it, right? Who can they elevate themselves? San Diego State looked really good on Friday night against Colorado State. Can they elevate themselves to that level? Can they consistently run the football? Can they build offense off of that run game? That's what they've lacked the last couple weeks. I think they're right in that competing for a Mountain West title conversation.
It seems like every week we keep talking about getting the run game to move more effectively, and Coach Entz acknowledges it on Monday at the press conference. What does this group need to do to be able to run the ball more effectively?
Well, when linebackers are sitting at 4 yards and as soon as they see a run block, they're flying downhill, it's really difficult to run the football for anybody. So they need to add other elements to the way they approach attacking defenses that scares defenses a little bit. If I can just come downhill and stop your run game and make you do things that you don't want to do, I'm going to do that. I'm going to force you to do things you don't want to do to have success. So until they have a consistent passing game, until they can maybe build a running game off of having success in the pass game, until they can hit a couple vertical shots that loosens up a defense, I think you're going to struggle to run the football. They need to add some passing elements consistently to this offense, so then there's not so much pressure on that offensive line blocking 6 or 7 guys right around the line of scrimmage.
Cam, we always hear about the short week. So Friday night game in Fort Collins. It could be a short week for you as a broadcaster as well. Is this real or is this a myth? And what are the challenges?
Yeah, I think there's maybe just a little bit less preparation. If you have an extra day to prepare, you have a little bit of a better understanding of the game plan, of the team that you're going to face, how they're trying to attack you. So I think there are just some details that you're unable to really allow to sink in when you have one less day. There's one less day physical. I mean, football is a very physical sport, right? You're a little bit beat up after a game. So there's one less day to recover physically. But I mean, is it a huge deal? No, going on the road on a short week, like, you are losing time, but none of that matters. As soon as the ball is kicked off, none of that matters. You just go out there and play football. So yes, it's a real thing. It may affect preparation a little bit, but I don't think it affects teams enough to change wins and losses necessarily.
Cam, we can't let you go without talking about this guy, Tim Skipper and the UCLA Bruins, with a big upset over 7th-ranked Penn State yesterday. What was your reaction watching that game?
I'm just so happy for Tim Skipper. I mean, I love Tim Skipper as a human being, right? Teammates, Bulldog born, Bulldog bred. He's going to be a Bulldog till the day he's dead. I'm just glad that the world gets to see what Tim Skipper is about. He came in and inherited a terrible UCLA football team who had just lost 35-10 to New Mexico, and then he beats a top 10 team 3 weeks later. The world is getting to see the positivity, the energy, what he exudes on a daily basis, and that UCLA football program looks night and day different from what they did 3 weeks ago. I could not be more happy for Tim Skipper.
All right, we love the energy that Cam always brings to the Bulldog Insider. Thanks, Cam.
Of course.